Hello and welcome to another instructional video brought to you by Mr. Whitley. Today's video is the beginning of our study of parts of speech. There are actually 8 parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. This video, however, is just about nouns. And after watching this video, you will be able to identify nouns in a sentence: compound, common, proper, concrete, abstract, and collective. Now, knowing these basic building blocks of our language will help you be a better communicator in the future. So let's get started. Nouns. I feel like this is a great example of one of those words that if you keep saying over and over, sounds weirder and weirder. Nouns, 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 nouns. You should try it at home. It just gets weirder. Actually, the word nouns comes from a Latin word, which is nomen, or maybe it's nomen. Nomen. And surprisingly, it's not a Latin word meaning this is a girls only club. It actually means name. And that's very helpful because when you think about nouns, you need to remember that nouns actually name something. So if it has a name, it is likely a noun, because a noun is a word or word group that is used to name a person, place, a thing, or an idea. I often receive, what's the right word? It's not criticism. Maybe it is criticism. No. Tips. That's it. I often receive tips from my students telling me how I can make my videos better. And so I'm trying to get better. And what I've done for this video, I called a friend of mine. She's from another country, actually. But good friend Robin. I think some of y'all know her by the name Rihanna. But she just loves nouns, and she was like, "Oh, I'd be happy to help." So this video is actually sponsored by Rihanna, and if you represent Rihanna legally, please don't sue me. So, like I said, nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. For people, you've got Rihanna. She's a singer. She's a woman. But those words are all nouns. It's a person, a singer, a woman. And then there's places, Barbados, where my friend Robin is from, or Rihanna, or Rai Rai. A theater where she might perform a concert. New York, where she likely spends a lot of her time. It also, nouns are things like a microphone or a mic, a costume or headphones. Nouns can also be ideas like love, beauty, and joy. So there's lots of different nouns out there, and other than just being people, places, and things and ideas, there's different ways to describe nouns. There are several different categories, and the first one we're going to look at is the compound noun. Okay, after we look at compound noun, we're going to look at common and proper nouns, then we're going to look at concrete and abstract nouns, and then we're going to finish up with collective nouns. But let's start with our compound noun. This is when 2 or more words are used together as a single noun. There's 3 ways to do this. You can smash multiple words into one word, you can use multiple words that describe a single thing, or you can combine multiple words using hyphens. I know what you're thinking. Let me see those examples. And don't worry, here comes Rihanna with some examples. Boom. Smashed words, where you got 2 words and they're smashed together to make one, like basketball. You've got the word basket, the word ball, crush them together, and you have basketball. And then there's Greenland, which should be capitalized. Oh, Rihanna, you have so much to learn. It should be capital G, Greenland, which is a country, if you didn't know that. And then you've got separate words that describe one thing, like middle school or Robin Fenty. And then you've got these hyphenated words like self-control or mother-in-law. These are all examples of compound nouns. Thank you very much, Riri, Rai. I don't know what y'all call her. I really don't. Anyway, another category that you can, or another 2 categories you can divide nouns into are common and proper. A common noun is a noun that names any one of a group of persons, places, things, or ideas. When it gets specific or particular, that's a proper noun. So when you're naming a particular person, place, thing, or idea, that's a proper noun. And those are always going to be capitalized, okay? Common nouns usually don't have capital letters unless they're beginning a sentence, but proper nouns do begin with capital letters. Luckily for you guys, my buddy Rihanna has some examples for you, okay? Here's a common noun right here, the word song. A proper noun would be work, a famous song by somebody you might know. A common noun, country. A proper noun, Barbados. Common, athlete. Proper, Usain Bolt. Common, ship. Proper, Millennium Falcon. Common, newspaper. Proper, Democrat Gazette. Common, river. Proper, Arkansas River. Y'all see where this is going, okay? I'm not even going to finish it. Now, there is another way to divide all nouns into two categories, concrete and abstract. And this one can be a little trickier than common and proper, because a concrete noun, that names a person, place, or thing that can be perceived by one or more of the senses, whereas an abstract noun names an idea, a feeling, a quality, or a characteristic. And this can get tricky because sometimes you could fight about whether or not something can be perceived, if it's, like music or a sound. Sometimes that's tricky, but don't get too hung up on the trickiness of it. Let's go to some examples. Miss Fenty, help us out. Boom. Concrete, you've got hummingbird, telephone, popcorn, ocean, New York, Rihanna, obviously. These are all things you could see or touch or hear. And then you've got some abstract nouns like love, beauty, Buddhism, offense, defense, Illuminati. Oh boy, let's move on before I get in trouble. Okay, the next type of noun we're going to look at is collective. A collective noun names a group. And if I had a picture of a group of Rihannas, I would have put that there, but I did not. So, collective nouns, that's a single word that represents a group of something, okay? This is different from a plural noun. It's not a bunch of somethings, because a plural noun would be like singers or teachers or students. That's one thing there's just a lot of. But a collective noun is when it's a group that contains a lot of things. So here's some examples. You've got groups of people like team or tribe or family. You could have groups of animals like herd, flock, or pride. And then you could have groups of stuff like a set, a pair, a batch, or a collection. These are all examples of collective nouns. It's one thing, but it's one thing that contains a lot of things. So our simple definition of nouns, if you remember, is a word or word group that is used to name a person, place, a thing, or an idea. But as we dig deeper, we learn that a noun can be more than one type. You've got compound nouns, common proper nouns, concrete abstract nouns, collective nouns. There's all these different types. And what that really means is that every single noun could be described in 4 different ways. It could be compound or not compound. It could be common or proper. It could be concrete or abstract. It could be collective or not collective. So let's take a look at a sentence, and we're going to pull the nouns out, and then we're going to see where these nouns fall into the different categories. So here's an example sentence. Rihanna is a singer with way more talent than that band, One Direction. And I'm sorry to all of you who love One Direction, especially the boys in my first period, but this is just the truth. You need to face these facts. Anyway, let's start with the nouns here. We've got Rihanna, we've got singer, we've got talent, band, and One Direction. So we're going to highlight those and underline them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stick these on a chart. It looks like this. So you see that Rihanna is a proper noun. It's also a concrete noun. Rihanna is not a compound noun. It's not common because it's a specific, particular person, and it has a capital letter. She's not abstract. You can see Rihanna. And she's not collective. She's just one thing. Then you've got the word singer. our second noun, and singer and Rihanna are the same thing, but they're different words. Singer is not compound. It's not proper like Rihanna, because there are any number of singers. Even though in the sentence it's referring to a particular singer, the word itself does not refer to a particular singer. So it is a common noun. It's also a concrete noun. You can see a singer. You can hear a singer. If they don't wear deodorant, you can smell a singer. And it's not abstract because it's concrete. It's not proper because it's common. And it's not collective. It's one singer. It's not a group, just one. And then you've got the word talent. Okay, the word talent is not compound. It is not a proper noun. It's a common noun. It is not a concrete noun. Even though you can see the results of someone having talent, you cannot actually see talent itself. So that makes it an abstract noun. Abstract because it can't be seen or tasted or heard or smelled or touched. It's an idea. It's a quality. And it's not collective either. It's one thing. It's not a group of things. And then we've got band. Band is not a compound noun. It's not a proper noun. It's a common noun. It's also a concrete noun. You can see a band. You can hear a band. And if they're really bad, you should stop listening to the band. But it's not abstract because, like we said, it's concrete. But it is collective. It's one word. It's one thing. But inside of that thing, there are multiple other things. So it's a collective noun. And then let's go to our final noun of the sentence, one direction. Now, this is our only compound noun in this sentence. And it's compound because it is two words being used to describe one thing. Okay, one is not an adjective telling us how many directions there are. This is the name of a band, One Direction. And because it's the name of a particular band, it's a proper noun. And we would capitalize the one and the direction. It's because it's proper, it's not common. And because it's a band and it's a group of guys that we can hear and see, hopefully not any more than we ever have to, it's concrete. It's not abstract. And like the common noun, band, One Direction is a collective noun. It's one word or word group that contains many more things inside of it, and that makes it a collective noun. I hope that seeing the different nouns from this sentence pulled out and graphed like this has made it helpful for you when you get out there and find nouns yourself. Let's recap everything we've gone over and wrap this video up. Like I said before, nouns name persons, places, things, or ideas. These are the substance or the what's of what we talk about in communication. Remember that nouns can fall into 4 different categories: compound or not, common or proper, concrete or abstract, collective or not. Now, good luck finding your nouns. And oh, what's that, Rihanna? Oh, she wants to share something with you guys. She wouldn't tell me what it was. She said it was a surprise. Oh, gosh, that's terrifying. Oh, okay, Rihanna, we'll do it. We'll learn those nouns. Yes, ma'am.